And yesterday we had a welcoming dinner, Friday, December 10th, and it was just so nice to see everybody now. We've been struggling with the COVID-19 pandemic, new variants, so it's been very hard for us to get together face to face. And again, it's just been encouraging. And we have some more events going on tonight. The great thing about TPN and the forum is that we have this younger generation that works in conjunction with our elders, and that proves to be working. And as Hayam mentioned earlier today in his presentation, we're successful because of them, because of our elders. They got us here, they clothed us, and they fed us, they put a roof over our head, and now it's kind of up to us to build on top of that. So, and that's really what this leadership training is about.
Well, first of all, it's superseding my expectations, of course, but the way I found it is they've invited all of the leadership from across the nation, the different chapters, to come here for their very first leadership forum. And we're taking the opportunity to develop our leadership skills here, connect with many of the different leaders from across the nation that we've been collaborating with for over a year. So it's nice to finally get to meet them in person.
So today, as you can see, from the people behind me. This is a training, a leadership training that we're doing. The leadership training is to master the leader within ourselves. We're all leaders in our own capacity. And this was a training to identify where do you connect with others? How do you influence others? You know, how do you bring the inner abilities that you have within you to actually help your communities, others that can benefit from you. So on today's seminar, Tracy Knight from the Atlanta metropolitan area was the one who came in to present the training. The training is called the Mastering the Leader in You, obviously, you know. And there was a lot of exercises that were done to see where people are, personality, colors, communication styles. So a lot of things went on to see how this is going to benefit us as a community. And TPN put this together graciously, and it's very, very beneficial because we saw some things that we didn't know about ourselves today. And I think that will be something that we take away and take home and to actually help our own respective communities.
I feel like especially in our local chapter, our community has really benefited from TPN creating a chapter there. We're really about connecting the youth and creating opportunities to network, and we have workshops for our community, and we bring in different professionals, or we try to do civic engagement activities where we're getting the community youth involved to give back to our community in North America, but also in Tigray. So for people that aren't involved with TPN right now, I think it's a really great opportunity to connect with Tigaru, especially if you're new to your city. It's a really special way to meet new people and then also be involved with them.
Our journalists discussed points about their engagement with their members and how they took constructive criticism.
So Hylon talked about how we recognized the gap where there wasn't this opportunity for like structured youth development. How, you know, what processes and tools can we put into place to help our communities? And then Dr. Taiga talked about how, well, let's show them, right? We came together and we said, we're gonna put these processes in place. We hosted Wa'ala Tigray in 2019 in Denver, and we showed and proved what we were able to do. And then since then, like Sunday shared, we've been launching chapters. We have a chapter in Atlanta. We have a chapter in Dallas, in DMV. We're forming Chicago chapter. We're forming the Tri-State chapter. So in terms of where we're going from here, I think it's just continuing to grow. We hope to launch additional chapters in other Tigray communities. We want to have more opportunities for development for ourselves, because if we don't develop ourselves, just personally and professionally, how can we help our community members? How can we even could think about helping back home? We have to make sure that we are equipped to take care of ourselves and our communities here. And that's what TPN is about. So we want to make sure that people are aware. We've been here since 2017. 2017 is when the six of us started getting together and brainstorming and thinking about like, how do we put something that's in place for Tigray communities? We want to have more opportunities for development for ourselves, because if we don't develop ourselves, just personally and professionally, how can we help our community members? How can we even could think about helping back home? We have to make sure that we are equipped to take care of ourselves and our communities here. And that's what TPN is about. So we want to make sure that people are aware. We've been here since 2017. 2017 is when, you know, that's here for the long run. That can be duplicated in different cities. That can encompass all the things that, make us beautiful Tigrayans. We want to embrace that. And so I think we'll just continue to grow. I think we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to make an impact. More and more people will realize that they have skills that they can contribute to the community. And here's how you can do so, because we have a structure. Join us. Public speaking is hard. How can we help you do that? Learning Tigrinya is something that we all need to aspire to do. How can we help you do that? So these are things that we always think about. We're trying to think about how we can better ourselves in our community, and it's just going to get better from here.
One is around personal and professional development. The second one is around social and civic engagement. We have to be involved in the political arena. We have to ensure that our youth, our community leaders are volunteering, because in order to build a community, everybody has to work together and build it up from the ground up. And how do we ensure there is networking and mentorship involved? Meaning there are experienced people in our community, and there are others who are outside of our community. How do we bring them in and build a network of expertise around technology, around legal, around healthcare, some of these critical sectors, and make sure we're leveraging and providing that information to the youth as early as we possibly can, so that their dreams are being formed and they have different things they can think about, not just what perhaps maybe some of their parents or what the community may be telling them about. And then the last one is really around Tigray, which is understanding our culture, our history, our heritage, and learning about our language. And so those are the core tenets of TPN. And as we think about the future, to what Murat was saying, one of the main things we want to focus on right now is how do we unify the Tigrayan community under a common goal and purpose? Because there's so many different organizations, different ideas, different thoughts that exist. We have to make sure we stay united and we understand what are the key components that our underlying community has to have structurally, so that we can be ready for the next decade, 2 decades, or 3 decades. Then we can get to that geopolitical strength, having that generational wealth created, and having a really healthy ecosystem, not just here in the United States, but abroad. So to your question, we've already connected with other youth or young professional Tigrayans across the 4 continents where there is a population. And a lot of that was propelled because of what's happening in Tigray today. So we actually paused our key programs to focus on the carnage that's taken place back home, and how do we bring people together under that common purpose and build a structure that's going to help us develop the right campaigns. So we connected with individuals in Australia, other parts of Asia, other parts of Europe, and there's actually a young professional network that was developed in the UK, and we had a session with them. We shared with them our playbook, the structure, the programs we run, how it's facilitated, and they've taken it and created their own organization. So it's not about TPN creating a chapter necessarily. We want to find where there is interest. If you don't want a TPN chapter, that's okay. But we can give you the playbook so that you can cater a program for your local community. Because our thought and idea is we don't want to compete in a space that already exists, but we want to help them flourish. And the way we do that is that shared prosperity and sharing best practices with one another, putting ego to the side. It's not about TPN, it's about the community. And that's what our focus really is on.
So many things come to mind, but I think one of the key takeaways for me is how an idea can come to fruition. I have seen through the formation of this group and all of the activities that have taken place. What started out as weekly phone calls, strategizing, just trying to understand what the root of what potential, before going into, we talked about this through Hayalom's talk, before building a vision and a strategy, let's now take a step back and understand what is our problem? What are our problems? And I think we're still in that phase a little bit. It's amazing how much one can do when one comes around a shared kind of interest, shared sense of survival on some level, and the beauty that can be built through that. I've learned about dedication from all of you. It's not pretty behind the scenes, trying to put events together, trying to keep everyone on the same page, trying to agree on what we should prioritize, what we shouldn't prioritize. You guys all remember all of those meetings. It's really beautiful to see what was built, and to emphasize what Hayalom just said. It's not about TPN, it's about helping our people thrive where we are. How can we thrive where we are? Whether you make it back home or not, how can you have a good life? Right? Because the reality sometimes is we don't make it back. How do we set ourselves up such that we don't have to look to heaven for only, for good things? We have it here. There's a long way to go, but we're on our way. We're trying. I don't know if anyone else has anything else that they want to add, but I'm really grateful to be part of this group.
TPN really helped build me up to have a support group, to be proud of where my parents come from, to understand that yes, I am a diaspora here in the States, but there's still ways that I can serve, that I can get involved, that I can care and learn. We have many needs in our communities, and as the comms side, I learn about different communities. For example, Denver, we love to get together and socialize, and we're working on coming up with consistent programs where we can have an after-school program on a weekly basis. Atlanta's great with the summer program series here, and it's just a network of individuals, leaders, educators who build one another up, challenge each other, and more importantly, hold each other accountable.
We're at a point now you cannot just idly wait on the side. There's a tendency to come up with reasons why we're not successful. But right now is the time to be activated and find something you're passionate about. Find an organization that exists that is doing that work and be involved. Get engaged. There are many ways to get engaged. You can voice your concern. You can actually participate and be a part of the solutioning. You can donate time, money, energy, but just get involved. We have so many challenges in front of us, and it's going to take the entire community, the brain power that we have, and the passion and determination to create that beautiful little Tigray that we want to build here in diaspora, so that we can go back home to Tigray with the strength and the confidence that we can build it up there as well. So I really urge you, get involved and get activated.
So one of our programming committees with the Tigray Communities for North America is the Identity Committee. And we work with TPN, basically with our history lessons, history series, educating our youth about, it could be geography, it could be about historical events, it could be about languages, culture, and religion. And with TPN, we're planning Mission Tigray, which is basically an opportunity for us as the diasporas abroad to go back to Tigray, to visit, to invest, to share goods, to build a bridge that could lead to something more. And we were on schedule to do that prior to the war in 2020. Unfortunately, plans have changed. But we are still pursuing that as a group, as a community, nationally. And we have dozens, if not hundreds, of individuals who are interested. And because our goal is not to go to Tigray and to make it better. Our goal is to understand the landscape and the people who live there and work with their local governments, local institutions like universities, and come up with ways where we can have dialogue and really invest long term. And that's what we're continuing to work on.
Finally, these young leaders took their time to encourage and motivate their people that are in dire situation.
Through this unfortunate time of what's going on, we are openly advocating for you guys to get the humanitarian aid that you deserve, to turn the lights back on, to get running water, to get electricity, and we are putting pressure on our elected officials, our leaders here in the States, across the globe actually. We are protesting, we are working with other organizations, and we want you guys to know that we are thinking about you. We love you, we care, and we're not going to give up.
We are with you every day. You're with us every day. That's who we think about when we wake up. And just know that we are committed to building strong communities here so that we can help you back home.
I think the first thing I'll say is Ajokan. And I'm sorry that it took us to have such a tragic event to see you the way we see you now. And now that we recognize what's in front of us, we will do everything that we can right now, short term, to what Sandai was mentioning, to speak to as many of our government officials, corporations, people of influence and power, to try to insert themselves and mediate and help and intervene. We have teams and groups, different organizations like OMNA, HPN, I Stand with Tigray, and many others, like TDA, that are doing the work here to have an influence and try to stop this as fast as we can. Once that happens, we will not forget you again. We are thinking about how can we reinvest and provide you the support system that you need. But for now, I know you're struggling. It's probably a situation where I know for a fact I don't understand what it's like for you to be where you are. But we're with you. I know God is with you and watching over you. Stay strong, and we're thinking about you day in, day out, and we will not forget you.
Thanks. Thank you so much. Dr. Saka.
I think I second what everybody said. A message would be, you know what you need better than we do. You know yourselves, you know your values. I can't tell you any more than you need to know, than you already probably do. Work on understanding the root causes of our problems, even if it's uncomfortable, which I'm sure you're already doing. Let's try and make it different this time. Let's try and find a more sustainable way forward. Whatever you choose for yourselves, we will stand with you. We want you to be okay. We want you to be better off than we are here, deep in our hearts, whether we're talking about it all the time or not. That's what we want. And it kills us to see you suffering. So put yourselves first. Identify the causes of whatever we're going through now. It's uncomfortable. And let's try and find real solutions so that we don't have to revisit these problems again